When will Elon's satellite company Starlink finally IPO? Well, it's apparently further away than we initially thought. So if you're interested in investing in Starlink and would like me to keep you guys up to date with everything regarding Starlink's IPO, please go ahead and drop a like on this video so I know you guys enjoy content specific to this topic, and so I can continue making videos like this. Also, I'll briefly be going into my stance on the stock ticker IPOF at the end of this video, and this is a ticker that is speculated to be taking Starlink public. So I'll basically be going over if I'm still holding this stock and what my plans are moving forward with it. So stick around till the end. But yeah, let's get into the update. On June 7th, it was reported that Elon came out and told SpaceX employees that the company isn't likely to take its Starlink satellite internet business public until 2025 or later, thus extending the estimated timeline of the initial public offering yet again. Elon stated that, "I'm not exactly sure when that IPO is, but maybe it will be like, I don't know, just guessing, 3 or 4 years from now." So by this point, it sounds like Elon isn't even really sure when Starlink is going to go public. And Elon even emphasized, as he has previously said before, that the Starlink business needs to be in what he calls a smooth sailing situation with good predictability. And at this point, I think spinning it off as a public company can make a lot of sense. The latest timeline delays come despite repeated questions from a variety of investors over the years about owning a piece of SpaceX, a stock which currently remains privately traded. And I think this makes a lot of sense. I mean, who wouldn't want to own a stock in one of Elon's companies? Practically everything the guy touches turns to gold, and Elon has definitely made a lot of millionaires out of everyday people who invested in Tesla stock back when it was still early. And there's no reason to think that Starlink couldn't yield the same incredible blue chip stock performance that Tesla has seen over the years. The only thing that I personally wouldn't want to see from Starlink going public is a share price that is too f***ing high, or we might end up with another Coinbase situation, which IPO'd at a disgustingly high share price of $250 a share. And currently I think it's now sitting at around like $50 a share or something like that. And I know at the end of the day, the main thing to focus on is market cap and not necessarily the share price, but there's no doubt that the share price can play a massive psychological role in people deciding whether to buy into the stock or not. Plus, having a lower share price just makes it more accessible for people and allows for greater volume in options trading, since more people will easily be able to own groups of 100 shares. But I digress. Elon had actually previously targeted an offering as soon as this year, 2022, according to a 2019 email that was sent out to SpaceX employees, in which the email stated it will probably make sense to take Starlink public in about 3 years or so. Which brings us to today, 2022. But alas, Elon is running on Elon time, and delays and complications are just to be expected with this sort of thing, especially with all the other companies he's running, like Tesla and Neuralink. Elon then pushed back the estimate, saying in a tweet last year that it would be at least a few years before Starlink revenue is reasonably predictable, adding that going public sooner than that would be very painful. And while it sucks, it definitely seems that Starlink going public is still years away. I definitely wouldn't disagree with Elon here. Taking your company public puts a lot of pressure on the CEO and the financial teams. The reason being that shareholders always want to see increased revenue and profitability every quarter, and most importantly, every year at the very least. So if Starlink really isn't in a good place to go public right now, I'm totally fine with that. All this means is that we're going to have some extra time to save up on some cash to invest in Starlink when it finally does decide to go public. So when it comes to SpaceX's Starlink network, it's essentially designed to deliver high-speed internet anywhere on the globe through thousands of satellites in low Earth orbit. The company actually disclosed late last month that Starlink now has over 400,000 subscribers around the world, and that SpaceX has launched about 2,500 satellites to date to support the system. And I also think it's important to note here that when it comes to internet speed, Systems like Google Fiber are way faster than Starlink. But the point of Starlink isn't supposed to be the fastest internet service in the world. The main purpose of Starlink, aside from supporting SpaceX, is to provide internet to the most remote areas around the globe, where access to Wi-Fi is scarce. And while SpaceX offers a variety of Starlink products and services, the base price of $110 a month and the company's most recent subscriber numbers suggest an annual service revenue of over $500 million a year. But as Elon had previously stated, these numbers are probably fluctuating a lot and are more or less unpredictable for now. And I also think it's important to note here that Elon has had a pretty dodgy and controversial relationship with the regulations of publicly traded companies. I mean, back in 2018, he agreed to pay millions in settlement charges to the SEC in response to fraud charges around the aborted plan to take Tesla stock private at $420 a share. And of course, currently, he's also battling with Twitter over a proposal to take the social media company private. Elon even stated that being public is definitely an invitation to pain, and the stock price is just distracting. And the moment probably some of you guys have been waiting for. Let's also not forget the SPAC ticker IPOF, which has previously been speculated to potentially be taking Starlink public. Now, while this is still highly speculative, you can check my other video that I made where I dive more into this topic, and I'll leave a link in the video description if you guys want to check it out. But the bottom line is, if anyone's wondering what my current position on IPOF is, I'm taking a speculative bet with this ticker. I currently own 100 shares of IPOF and plan on buying no more for the time being. I basically just want to hold IPOF until it's clear as to whether or not Starlink will be going public with them. But for now, all we can do is speculate. Let me know what you guys think about Starlink going public, and if you agree with Elon's decision to delay it another few years. And I'll wrap up the video here. Thanks as always, and I'll catch you next time.